It was ruled like 500 years by the Hungarian and Austro-Hungarian Empire. They bring here the Saxons to colonize the regions because they're very good crafters, and also the Ottoman cavaliers. From century to century, the castle get higher and higher. This is mainly all the story of all medieval castles, because advancing with one more century, they got more materials and more technology to make it bigger and with wider walls for defense. To tell you the short history of Romania, like 2000 years of history in 10 minutes, I will start from 2000 years ago, around the year 50 before Christ. The first one who united the Dacian tribes was Burebista. The Dacians were making part from the big family of the Thracians, which were all around this area. The first measure that Burebista took was to forbidden and to cut the graveyards, because the Dacians like it to drink it too much, and they didn't work enough, and didn't have a good shape for wars. After this 150 years more, the times of the king, the Dacian king Decebal, which foughted with the Romans. There were two big wars, 101-102 and 105-106. In the first war it was somehow equal. That's the reason the Emperor Traian, the Emperor of Rome, of Roman Empire, requested the help of Apollodor din Damascus, a great engineer of his times, and built a stone bridge over the Danube. Danube is quite a wide river. So in 106, after the second war, Decebal was defeated. Not to be captured and be presented in Rome as a slave in a cave, he killed himself. In the memory of the wars with the Dacians, the Emperor Traian made a column of Traian in Rome. It can be seen also today, and a replica of it can be seen also in the National History Museum of Romania in Bucharest. After this, about 1000 years was the time of invasions, different migrating people, the Huns, the Goths, and so on, going until Attila the Great. And in 12th, 13th centuries got shaped the three historical provinces of Romania. We have here up Transylvania, down where is Bucharest is Wallachia, and on the right side is Moldavia. There were a lot of great kings during the time who fighted. Think about Moldavia and Transylvania and Wallachia were ruled for 500 years by the Ottoman Empire. We have a little bit down here the Black Sea, and think about from Bucharest to Istanbul you make around 10 hours by car with stops. So the Transylvania, as I was saying earlier, was ruled by the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which is up where is now Hungary, going to Germany and Austria. The first king of Romania, of the three historical principalities, Wallachia, Moldavia and Transylvania, who tried to unite those kingdoms, was Mihai the Brave around the year 1600. The unified didn't last long, because being surrounded of such big powerful empires, they wanted small countries that can be ruled more easier than a powerful country. So that was the reason it took almost 250 years from the time of Alexandru Ioan Cuza. He united Wallachia and Moldavia. You know, the liberation started with the French Revolution from 1848. The unify was made by Alexandru Ioan Cuza in 1856. But the nobiliars and the parties from that time realized that we are very weak countries and we need a foreign king to maintain the unify. That was the reason in 1866 it was King Carol I who built Palace Castle that we visited earlier. In 1877 it was a big war between the Russians and the Ottoman Empire, and we call that war Romanian. They the independence war because we get free from Ottoman domination after that war. But even so, King Carol could not unify all three historical regions. It was needed to King the First World War to have this opportunity. So his nephew King Ferdinand and Queen Mary, after the First World War, went to got at a lot of Congress of Peace at Paris. Queen Mary been even to New York. Think about Ferdinand was from the German imperial family, and Queen Mary was from the English royal family. So two very powerful families. And after the First World War, since 1st December 1918, we speak about Romania. After the First World War, Romania had like 30% more territories, even a part of Bulgaria. It was a Romanian territory. We lost those territories after the Second World War. Also, Queen Mary has a beautiful castle in Belgic, in Bulgaria. Going through time, the next one was their son, Carol II, Ferdinand's and Queen Mary's son, which was born in Palace Castle. Palace was used as a summer residence. Think about 150 years ago, Palace was just a very small village. On the same model, we have the resort called Bușteni, which was also a very small village. But over there, a very rich guy, Gheorghe Cantacuzino, built it in the times of Carol I, his castle, Cantacuzino Castle. This is also a summer residence. In that times, people said that he was even more richer than the king. Mr. Cantacuzino came from a very old family, an Emperor Byzantine family of Paleologs. We can see his blood 1000 year, going until almost the year 1000. And also he has a beautiful winter castle in Bucharest, his main castle. Now it's the Museum of Music called George Enescu. The royal family has 3 more castles in Bucharest for the winter. Elizabeth's castle. Nowadays, the owner is Princess Margaret, is the custod of crown. Since the communists came in 1948, we don't have no more royalty. Princess Margaret is daughter of King Michael. Michael was the last king of Romania. He is the son of Carol II. Also, we have the main royal palace, which is on Victoria Lane, which gathers now the National Paintings Museum, and also the Cotroceni Palace, which was also a royal palace in the time of the kings, which now covers the presidential administration. Part of it can be visited all the time of the year, and presidential wing, usually it's open 1 time or 2 times per one's president mandate by his decree, and it's quite nice to see it. To be honest, I saw the presidential wing only 1 time in life when I was a student, because when it is open, it's open just for a few days or a week, and everybody wants to see it. It's pretty crowded. So, going after Carol II was Mihai I. He was at 26 years thrown away in 1948 by the communists. As in all communist countries, they took all the belongings of the kings and all the people, because all belong to the state. Think about from the Baltic countries. We start from here, from Finland, we go down to Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. So it was a big corridor for defending Russia that was established after the Second World War. King Mihai was fashioned in cars, so when he was thrown away without nothing, he doesn't even knew how to buy a theater ticket. At the beginning, he survived a car mechanic because he was passionate about cars and he knew to repair cars. And after this, he went to New York and worked as a broker on Wall Street and raised his 5 daughters. In the time of the communists, what to say about a lot of economy? Think about we had television for 1 hour or 2 during the winter. Also, we have electricity for 1 hour and 2. We didn't find too many things to buy. For example, my father was a student during communist. I'm from Ploiești, a city close to Bucharest, 60 kilometers far away, and think about my grandma wasn't even able to find bread to buy. So every Friday my father was buying a big bag with bread and returning to Ploiești to my grandpa's, because there are a lot of restrictions. You will have an amount during communism, certain amount of goods from oil, eggs, I don't know, meat and so on. You get a stamp on it, and you stay at the crowd from 2, 3, maybe in the night. The van with the food came at 6 in the morning, at 7, and if you stay at the crowd starting from 2 in the night, maybe you will find something in the morning. In 89, communism finished on 24 December 1989. The dictatorial couple, Ceausescu, Elena and Nicolae Ceausescu, flew away by helicopter from Bucharest. They were get by the army and shot by the executioner platoon. After this, his kids survived. One of them is still living in Bucharest. The kid didn't have nothing to them. I finished a car engineer in Polytechnics of Bucharest. I've done my job for 15 years, and I had the pleasure to have as a teacher Zoe Ceausescu. Was the only daughter of the dictatorial couple. His husband is still a teacher in the Polytechnics of Bucharest, and it was my teacher. And he was not also very happy. He didn't speak too much about the present couple, but think about the secret police was always hunting them and surviving them and surveillance them, not to happen nothing to them, but they were scared anyway. That was the request of Elena Ceausescu. Also, I saw some interviews with Zoe Ceausescu in her very last days in the 90s, and she was smoking cigar after cigar, and she was very stressed, and the trauma could be seen that it was real. You can search it on YouTube and find it. Some of them are translated into English as well. So, starting in 89, we are a democracy. We have a president. Now his name is Klaus Iohannis, and he sleeps all the time and go in troops. Disappointed everybody. As a country, we have one of the lowest, I believe the lowest rate of going to vote in Europe. To election, about 30% of population is going to vote. We always say from 2 bad parties, because there are mainly 2 parties, we always choose the less bad, but also bad. That's the reason in a country with 20 million people, inhabitants, we have only around 1,000 kilometers of highways. You'll see the traffic jams as well. There are something common here to stay a lot in traffic. Sometimes when it snows from here, from the valley of Prahova until Bucharest, you can make about 8 hours, and you saw it's a 2 hours road if it's clear. With big bus going with a small car, of course, you can go much faster. What to say more about Romania? From 10 years to 10 years, things improve a little bit. We don't have so much corruption as the past, but this is a common thing in all communist states. You'll encounter a lot of corruption. Also, until the war from Ukraine started, Romania as a percentage had the biggest amount of people going abroad and working abroad. Think about now, and the story started about 20 years ago, let's say 15 years, half of the working force from Romania is working abroad. They are going to work starting from Germany, Italy, England, and so on. That's the reason, and think about, we have about 8 million working force people, and think about that from 8 million, 1.3 million are working at the local authorities. It's huge, because they receive money from the another 7 million working and from the companies that are paying taxes. Mainly, this is a story of Romania.